Hey gang, it's Bob Bannister coming at you from CGCM Rock Radio. Hope you're having a great one. Welcome into another edition of Rock Talk. Now, before we get going on this, you know the drill. Click that like, that share, that subscribe. Click the bell icon to stay up to date on all things Rock Talk. And do us a favor, drop that comment in that space below as well. Maybe there's somebody you'd like us to talk to. This time around, we're joining an artist from a band, of course, that goes without saying, that is on the X Music label. Now, that is the label that we all know and love out of Australia. They've got some huge acts on there. Delacoma. There is also the TaylorMade Rejects. There is Audio Rain, just to name a few of Carly Jewel. The list, I can keep going on, but I won't because you already know who they are. This time around, we're talking to the only non-Australian band to be signed to that label. I'm talking the Black Ridge Union out of Dallas, Texas. These guys are the real deal. They've got one foot in the 80s. They've got one foot right here in 2026. We'll get more into that in just a few minutes. So let's hook up with Sean from the Black Ridge Union from Dallas, Texas, and see what's going on with them on this edition of Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio. And as promised on this edition of Rock Talk, joining us this time around from Dallas, Texas, we've got Sean from the band Black Ridge Union. Welcome in, Sean. Welcome to Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio, my friend.
Thank you for having me, man. Been looking forward to this.
Absolutely amazing to have you here. So tell us the story of Black Ridge Union. I mean, you guys are just, you're from Dallas, Texas, and you're signed to an Australian label, X Music.
Yeah. Yes. We signed this past March to X Music. The Black Ridge Union is kind of the child of Kevin Mead and myself. We've been working on this for a while. We've both been in other bands doing other things, and we finally last year decided that it's time to really put it in high gear. So we got Kenny and we got Jesse. And, I believe our first show was in June, and we were in the studio in August with our first album.
Wow.
So, yeah, no, things have been happening very fast. Our manager, Bella, is Australian, and she was doing some things with uh, Tim and X Music, and threw him our album, and he liked it. And as they say, the rest is history.
Because I was just going to ask, how does a band from Dallas end up on a label that's primarily Australian? I mean, I do a lot of interviews with a lot of the artists on X Music, and you're the first non-Australian band that we've gotten from that label.
Yeah, yeah. So Bella, I've known Bella for a while, and she's been instrumental in helping me and my career. I love her to death. Um, and we got the album done, and I sent it to her, and I said, give me your honest opinion. And she was like, I love it. And she goes, I've got people that I want to get this to. And I said, all right, where do we sign? And so we brought her in as our manager, and things have just been rolling since she's taken over.
And you guys are in some really, really great company. I mean, you've got Delacoma, you've got Audio Rain, you've got the TaylorMade Rejects, all as label mates. This is such a stacked label. I haven't seen anything like this outside of the 1980s, and that's dating myself right there.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know any of the guys in the other bands personally, but I've been listening to a lot and checking out people on the label, and there's some great label mates out there, and
Mhm.
we're in the process of working on our debut album, 4X Music. And one of the things that we'd really love to do is come over to Australia and play, hook up with some of these guys, and just have a blast, man.
Absolutely, and I know they would welcome you with open arms. I mean, if they welcome a Canadian that's a big hoser and loves talking to rock stars, and they'll welcome you guys too with open arms. It's just they're just
Awesome.
yeah, they are absolutely amazing. So describe your sound for somebody who hasn't heard the Black Ridge Union before.
Well, as Kevin always says, have you ever heard of Creed? We sound nothing like them. We sound nothing like them. We're kind of a blend. Kevin comes from thrash and real heavy, like his band, Metallica, Slayer, stuff like that. And I'm melody. You wouldn't think that we'd be in a band together. I come from the commercial Bon Jovi, Skid Row type, music. And then Jesse and Kenny. I mean, they're both. Jesse's probably more of a metal guy. Kenny is kind of like me, kind of down the middle of the road there with the commercial. And so Kevin and I just started writing. So we were in a band together, 2009, I think it was, called Bleed Down. And he came in and took over for a guitar player who departed, and we started recognizing our sound then, like the heavy with heavy music with the melodic vocals. And we kind of went our separate ways, and we've been amazing friends, for 20 years. But we keep coming in and out of the bands together, and we sat down and started working on stuff now. And Kevin is a beast. He's such an amazing guitar player. And it's funny because I'll write a riff, and my first instinct is, "Oh man, play it the way." But then he plays it, and I'm like, "Oh no, that's exactly how it should be played." And so, it's funny. So we started writing, and he would come up with something, and I would throw something melodic, and he's like, "Wow!" And it's just back and forth. So and then Jesse's very melodic bass player. Kenny is just solid, and he just pounds those drums. I mean, it just came together. Like I said, our first show was July or June 15th, and we released our album September 26th.
Wow.
So there were some songs that Kevin and I had brought with us from the past that never saw the light of day. So it went quickly on the writing way. But yeah, I mean, just the chemistry between the four of us is amazing.
And that's the biggest thing right there. You got to have that chemistry. I mean, it's got to work on a sports team. It's got to work at a radio station. It's got to work in a band. Otherwise, you may as well just chuck it all in the trash bin, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, we all kind of have the same background. Kevin was in LA for a while. Kenny was in LA for a while. I was in LA for, I played the entire 80's and part of the 90's in the strip. And, you know, so we all kind of have like the work ethic. That's something that the 80's and early 90's in LA had. That's something that,
Hmm.
that's just put into you was the work ethic. I look at a lot of guys now, and they're great players, but they just look at things completely different. And to each their own. But I still think you put in the work, and good things are going to happen, and they are.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, drawing, how would you draw a parallel between what was happening in the 80's, in that Sunset Strip era, to nowadays? Like, is the music industry gone downhill? Is it just evolved and changed?
It is so different that it is hard to describe. There are some things that are so much better now, and some things that are just it'll never be the same.
Mhm.
You know, when I was playing in Hollywood in the 80's and 90's, if I would have seen a band with guys our age in it, we would have laughed. We'd have been like, "Oh my God! I mean, who are these guys?" You just didn't see it.
Right,
Um, Now with everything, man, you could be 100 years old if you're putting out good music. People don't care, and
that's
that's
right.
fantastic. That to me is I mean, we play like we play with bands. I don't know if you remember Lillian Axe from the
Yes,
80's. Well,
absolutely.
the old singer and bass player Ron Taylor and Darren DeLatter in a band called Low Side. We play with them a lot, and I look at them and I'm like, you can just tell the quality. I mean, it's just It's just a different breed, and
Yeah,
people love it when we play with these guys, and we bring shows like that together. The older guys, the guys that are, for lack of a better word, they're just, they're grizzled. We've gone through it. Everybody knows, and and the crowd wins because you've got guys that are professionals. They've been doing this for 30, 40 years. They're putting on shows like they're playing at the Forum,
absolutely.
and it's just great. The crowd is what wins. The music is fantastic. We play with younger bands too. We'll play with anybody, tribute, original, cover, young, old, it doesn't matter. We just want to give the people the best show. So, you know in that sense, you know music, when you hit the stage, there's no difference. 80's, 90's, now it's all the same. Once you put the as you would say, the rubber to the road, professionalism takes over. Every band is the same. They come out there to kick butt, and they do. It's just everything that goes around it that is so different. And like I said, the fact that we put out a self-titled album, um, on every streaming platform. We couldn't have done that in 80, 85, 90. That's
Mm-mm.
just, so, Lincoln Park kind of paved the way for a lot of bands to come in and do things for themselves. And that's, again, fantastic. But, I don't know how many streams you got to sell to make a dollar, but, it's complete, that part's completely different. So, like I said, it's 50-50. I think overall, though, I think we're in a better spot because just the available music for the fan out there is just incredible.
Exactly. And and the technology as well. I mean, like you were saying, back in the 80's, you'd never be able to go and do your own album and produce it all and everything. Now it's the same with radio. I mean, back in the 80's, I'd have to have a big studio at a radio station, a transmitter. Nowadays, here I am. I'm in a spare room in my house. And
Yes, yes, and we're all better for it. We
yep.
really are. We're demoing now for the album. We got to get this to X Music, and quite honestly, our demos that we're just are as good as some of the recordings that I've done in the past. I'm just like blown away. Now, Kevin is a genius at all that stuff. We just kind of let the mad scientist go, but he's kicking us tracks that I'm just like, hell, I'd put this out, and this is the demo that we're going to do before we go in the studio.
Hmm.
So yeah, the technology is amazing today.
Absolutely. So, how would you describe your live show for somebody who hasn't seen the band before?
Man, we're intense. That's one thing about the band. We're intense. We have fun. We try to get the crowd involved. We play a couple cover tunes to keep people, like we do courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, from Toby Keith.
Oh, wow.
We do Living After Midnight just to get people going. We've started doing 46 and 2 from Tool just to, a lot of people don't know our songs. So we want to help keep them engaged, and we want to give them something to bring them back in. The music's good, but after a while of not knowing what you're hearing, people tend to want to wander. So we try to keep the show where it's engaging, it's high energy, it's intense. And this band really could play at a dive bar one night and American Airlines stay tomorrow. I mean, we're built for any stage. So I mean, that's just something that the 40 plus years that most of us in the band, although I think Jess is only 40, so the amount of time that we've been playing, that's built us for any type of situation that we would run into.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, you were talking about being on stage and being around for a while. In all that time, what's your funniest Spinal Tap moment from the stage?
My funniest, oh my God. Well, the most embarrassing, I would say, I was playing in a club in Los Angeles. Um, my mother had never come to see us play. She lived in Oregon. I was in Los Angeles, and she came down, and I built a show for the time she's going to be there. And so we're on stage, and I'm on the drum riser, and the show is going great. Everybody's having a great time, and I jump off the drum riser, and as I jump off the drum riser, I land funny, and I split my pants completely out. I'm not wearing any underwear. My
Oh,
mother's sitting front row, and so I realized it when I did it, and I had like a long shirt, so I pulled the shirt down. Well, then you get into the show, and what do? Brilliant me! I walk up, put my foot on the monitor right in front of my mother, and my
oh
mom just did
no.
exactly what you're doing, and I was like, "Oh man!" I was just like, "I will never, ever, ever live this down," and I didn't. She till the day she was gone, she would be like, "You remember?" "Yes, mom, I remember." So yeah, that
Moms have
was
a way of
probably
doing that, don't they?
yeah.
So what's the rest of 26 look like for you?
We're writing, we're demoing, and we're going to be recording. So I think we're in the actual recording studio in June 27th, and then man, it's get the album out, do a bunch of live shows, and just get some momentum going, and take us all the way into 27.
There you go. There you go. So, what's your best piece of advice you'd give to a new band that is just coming out of the starting blocks now?
Work and work hard. Work harder than everybody else. One of the things that is very controversial is pay to play in LA in the 80s and 90s. And I've always said I never had a problem with pay to play because we promoted a lot and we knew a lot of people. But I think the band should take the mentality of the pay to play mindset. And that's not I don't think the band should have to pay to play, but when you had to pay to play, you went out and you sold tickets. You went out and you got people to come to your shows. I see a lot of bands now who show up and expect the club to create the draw. And I keep telling everybody, do you think American Airlines Center ever sold out just because it's American Airlines Center? No. It sold
Mhm.
out because of the act that they brought into it. We're not a cover band, we're not a tribute band. There's no natural draw at that club. It has to be the music and the band. So you need to work like nobody else. You need to get out there. You need to shake hands. It is not ever going to change. Grassroots promotion is the key to everything. Get out, shake hands, meet people, get people involved, get them interested in your shows. See when they do come to see you, spend time with them. It's all about presenting your music to these people. And if you alienate the people, then why are you doing this? So that's my advice is you just work harder than anybody else. And, good things will happen.
And as we wrap things up, let's go into. All right, on this edition of The Wrong Game, we have Sean from Black Ridge Union. Sean, if you're ready, we've got some music trivia loaded for you here. First up, what band is famous for the song Hotel California?
The Beatles.
Who was the singer of Queen?
Sebastian Bach.
Which band did Sweet Child of Mine?
The Motels.
What's the name of the Beatles drummer?
Neil Peart.
Oh, that would have been interesting. Which band put out Dark Side of the Moon?
Led Zeppelin.
And finally, who was the lead singer of the Rolling Stones?
That would be Steven Tyler.
There you go. There you go. All right, Sean from Black Ridge Union, thank you for joining us on this edition of Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio. Take an extra minute and shamelessly self promote the band.
Man, Black Ridge Union on X Music. New album coming out in 26. Our first album is out on all streaming services, so go check it out. Um, and we will look forward to seeing you, man. At the end of 26 and 27.
Right on. Thank you for joining us, Sean. And thank you, folks, for joining us as well. Don't forget, click that like, share, subscribe button, leave a comment, support Black Ridge Union, support CGCM Rock Radio, and we'll catch you again on another edition of Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio.
Thank you, man.